So this site is called, as Joanne said, it is called Career with a Conscience. And just to have a model, just so if you want to draw this for yourself, draw 4 squares. And the lower left and the lower right squares are the ones that are prospecting squares. In other words, these are sites that are designed to be able to just invite someone to come in and look with a particular topic. And I'll show you something about that. So the one on the left is the product side, and that is called Partnership with Nature, and it's all spelled out. The one on the right side is called Career with a Conscience, and that's all spelled out. So those are what are called the prospecting sites, and those are designed to just invite someone to take a look. The upper 2, I'm just making up the diagram, but the upper 2 pages are ones that are designed for people. Those require admission, those require an invitation. And the one on the top left is the member orientation. So in other words, it's not just for someone coming in casually, it's for someone who is already a Shaklee member that you're inviting to come to go through the member orientation. And that one uses the shorthand, whereas down below it's Partnership with Nature. The one up here is PWN, standing for Partnership with Nature. So this is PWN Partners.
Well, Carolyn, the PWN Partners is for think of partners as being the more sophisticated sites.
Yes. Yes. Those are the ones that are designed for people with a little more involvement. So the product one is PWN Partners, and the business focused one, which we're not going to talk about tonight, is CWAC Partners. So you understand where the shorthand comes from, and that today what we're going to focus on is the prospecting site for business, which is the lower right on the model that I just gave you. So does that make sense? I mean, I'm talking in pictures with my hands, but does that make sense to everyone so they understand the kind of the geography of all of this?
Let's open this up for conversation, because I know when I first heard it, I was a little confused. So let's see if, how everybody thinks about it. Who's willing to speak up? Sue Holdren, you've had a chance to.
My face is all screwed up trying to figure out what we're doing. So we've got 4 Facebook pages?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and you're required to have an invitation to go to any of them?
No, to the top 2.
Just to the top 2.
And I could do a diagram. I didn't get to a PowerPoint. Think of the partners site as where you need to get an invitation to. So there's Partnership with Nature Partners, PWNP. That's the membership that you need an invite to. And
it's actually PWN Partners is spelled out.
PWN Partners.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's Career CWAC Partners.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the restrictive sites. Now
So what are the other 2?
The fun part, though, to remember is the simple sites that everybody can be invited to, that they don't need to be accepted into. So that to me would be where I would send most people to. And that's, go ahead, Kara. So then there's a product open house, but call it an open house. You have a product open house and you have a business open house. So where do you want to have an open house for your new people to go to? So we're going to talk about the business open house tonight.
Is that clear as mud for everyone, or are you okay?
Have we already talked about the product open house?
No, we did not do that one.
Okay,
Not
that fills in that question.
Not specifically, but you're welcome to go to it. It's there and it's functioning.
And
So,
how does one find that?
Partnership with Nature. Facebook, Partnership with Nature.
So the two open houses have a full story. One is Partnership with Nature, spelled out, and the other one is for business open house is Career with a Conscience. So those are not abbreviated. The abbreviation is for the people who finally come in, Sue, to really do something. Okay, but where I'm excited is because we want new people coming in, where would I send my new gal I was talking to today, Isabel, a riding buddy? I'd send her to Partnership with Nature.
That's the product side.
The product side.
Mhm.
And invite her to Lunch and Learn.
Mhm.
If she gets more interested in the business, I would send her to a Career with a Conscience and to a Thursday night. Then when I get her to really say, I love this, I want it, I would then send her to the more advanced training within the Facebook groups that we have.
So if I could ask a clarifying question. So
Sure.
if we see the word partners, we think training. Both
Yes.
of those places are more training.
Yeah, they're training.
Yes.
They'll bob
Okay.
people into more of a, I'm really committed and I want to know more and I want to do something with this, or I want to get the loyalty rewards. So the Partnership with Nature Partners will teach loyalty rewards and how they can get them. It took us a while, Sue. I appreciate your thoroughness and reviewing it. So it took those of us that have been, it's simple once you get it, but it takes a couple of explanations.
I have a question. How different is the content Partnership with Nature Partners and Partnership with Nature, just like CWAC Partners and Career with a Conscience that you're discussing tonight? You know, there's a little bit of overlap, right? But we have a different objective with the ones that don't have an invite. It's just to pique people's interest, correct? Without it being
The open sites, Partnership with Nature and Career with a Conscience. Incidentally, open meaning to people on our team. Please don't go out and spread this to the planet because we're trying to deal with it ourselves right now.
Sure.
But they're basically prospecting sites. They're
Okay.
for people to just come take a look.
Okay.
The PWN partners and the CWSA partners, those, as Joanne says, those are more training. Those are more, there will be fewer people involved in those. Those are more hands-on. And what our focus has been up to this point has primarily been the member orientation, which is PWN partners. And that's for people who have already somehow become a member. Either I gave an invitation to someone and I called it a member orientation. She said, after I've been a member for 40 years, do you think I still need orientation? I said, yeah, in fact, you can be brought up to date. So it can be anyone who just wants a new, freshened overview of what a Shaklee membership can mean for them. So that's a little more hands-on. Those are the ones that you'll invite someone to. You ask them to have the questionnaire. You tell them to come back and connect with their mentor, leader, so that you'll know what they're doing. But that's someone who's asked to be there. The prospecting sites are people, and as I show it to you, maybe you'll see that it's just someone who you've had a casual conversation with. And you can say here, if you're as long as you're a Facebook friend of theirs, you can invite them, and I'm going to show you add tag message, so you'll have an idea of better how to make this work. Does that make sense, Jennifer?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And technically, there are overlaps, Jennifer. on both all the sites because, you know, the message is the message. The difference between the prospecting site is it's less training as more education and information. So in the other sites, we're actually trying to help people utilize the information to build a business or become loyalty reward earners in and membership. So let's go ahead, Carolyn.
Okay. All right. What I thought we might do is start with the overview of what we call ad tag message, because this is where the magic of all of this comes in. This is where a casual conversation for someone allows you to simply say to someone, hey, would you like to go see the something that I'm referring to? So I'm not going to play this through for you in its entirety, but what I'd like for you to see is if you go into, this site is called Career with a Conscience. It's Facebook Career with a Conscience. And if you have any issues in getting into it, just check whoever your mentor sponsor is and make sure that you can get in. But you will see in this particular site, I'm going to take you first of all here. And what I actually will do is, we already tagged Susie Sunkel, but let's just for an example, let's tag. And what tag means is, let's say that I'm talking to Jennifer. And so I want to talk to Jennifer Cancio, and I want to say, Jennifer, here's an explanation of how's the best way to use this site. So I put the @ sign and I put Jennifer's name in. And Jennifer will now, when I do this, will probably get a message that says, Carolyn's just invited you to come here, and she will be tagged directly to this particular place that gives the instructions on how to add tag message. So for example, I can do this with Sue Holdren, not a member. Sue Scott Holdren, not a member. Are we not friends?
Well, I have to add them, I guess.
No, I think I can add them, except that if maybe they are not, let's see if that works.
That explains why I couldn't find it.
Well, no, there you go. See whether this gives you the invitation. Yep. Yes, because these are private sites. These are not sites that people go around and start searching for. So I think I've just invited you, Sue, and see if you got a notification that says, and so for example, Pam, I think probably has one. And I don't know who else is here. Erna. I'll just do a couple of you. And so what you should get is you should get a notification. Now, one of the things you can do is when you go into this site, you see up here at the very top where it says notifications, check this site notifications.
Yeah,
So that
it's Gary and Dawn. You can add Gary and Dawn.
okay, sure, but you
And
see where
Mary Beth.
notifications is? You see where it is? Make sure you check that, because what that's going to do is let you know if something's going on that site or if you get something like this. So I'll just do a couple more, and then just for example.
Mary Beth.
So Gary Mendelson, and see how you do the @ sign, and Mary.
Okay, you're not showing Mary Beth.
Yeah, there she is. Okay.
There.
Okay. Okay. So has anybody gotten a notification?
I did.
Good. Okay. Who else? Anybody else that you want me to add? Just so you know how to
I don't
do
know if you
this.
have Jamie Noel in your,
I got a notice, Carolyn.
Okay, good.
I'll
I
have to,
don't-
I'll have to do
Yeah,
Jamie.
Joanne, you can do Jamie.
Mhm.
And let's see,
Can you
anybody
get,
else?
Sue Prichnicki?
Sue doesn't have a Facebook presence. It's in her husband's name.
Oh, wow,
So
okay.
Sue, you're gonna need to go set up a Facebook presence for yourself. You don't have to use this, for anything else, but you do have to have, and honestly, it doesn't make any difference if you make up the information. You just need to have something that, that gives you an identification. Let me see.
Carolyn, I didn't receive the invitation, just so you know.
Say again?
I did not receive the invitation.
Okay, who is this?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary Beth.
Okay. Well, go check either check your notifications or check your email, because you can see I put it in here.
Right.
See it right here. And it may take, it may take a couple of minutes.
Earl Knudsen's on.
Okay.
I just invited Sylvia.
Okay, good. Yep. That doesn't look like those are the right ones. Associate broker and something else. So Earl, I don't think I've got Earl's connection. Joanne, you may
All right.
want to put that in.
Sure.
And I think I
can't
see
it here.
I think I see Verna, and so Verna should go in here. So each one of you should get a notification, which will also invite you to the page, and it will also send you directly to this instruction section. And this is called ATM strategy, which is add tag message. It's a video here for 6 minutes and 25 seconds. And it's in unit 4, which is called nuts and bolts. So is anybody missing, anybody that's on the call missing on this?
Carolyn, I want people to know that because I'm not that Facebook savvy, everybody. If you go to the left side here, you see the heading of where you are. And then you see about, discussion, units, rooms, members. Units is really where you want to go, or for your own edification and those of others. So that's where you will do the add tag message. If you see something.
Well, you do the add tag message wherever you want them to go.
Right, but you want to do, when you go to units and the units you like, when you go to your unit, that's where you're going to be doing the add tag.
Right, so this is where we went right here, which is in unit 4, under nuts and bolts. And I went to the ATM strategy, and this is where, and clicking on here, all you do is go into the comment section. So is there anyone else who's gotten this? Did you get this, or anyone not gotten this that we can help out with this?
I think what we can do now, Carolyn, is go through some of the really powerful units of why they would want to look at this site.
Okay.
So if we go down, there's the real stories, real people. Just show them a little bit about what each unit is.
So let's start at the beginning. Unit 1 has got a welcome. And the unit 1 with a welcome is what you can look forward to on this private page. It's a recording that I did, which is 3.5 minutes, which just invites you and tells you what there is, tells you what you can look forward to. So as someone, if you invite someone to the page, this is where they go. And this will kind of give them an overview. I will then, and I have not put it in yet, but I'm going to record the presentation that we did last week on introducing. I think I'll put that in here in a slightly revised version that I'll put it in. So it's just an overview of who we are and what we do. So this is basically a very simple introduction. This is basically the welcome. Okay,
so Carolyn, that presentation will be the presentation you used last week?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
And you've simplified it and reduced it?
I haven't done it yet, but that's what I'm looking to do, and then I can record it. So it will just be there so people can look at it.
Well, okay, so you're going to reduce the, I'm just, this is a workshop tonight.
Yeah.
So you're looking at how reproducing it, audio. Do you need help with that? Because we're happy to help you if you need it.
I think I can just record it, but if I do, I will reach out. I'm just going to have the slides on there. So it would be the slides with the audio behind it is what I would probably do. But yeah, if I do, I just haven't gotten there yet. But that's what
Okay,
the
because,
intention
we
is.
can help you by doing it together with you, with Lauren, and recording it and having it available
Okay. Okay.
and getting it done so that it can be up there.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So that's the first unit, and you can see it's actually quite simple. So it just if you send someone to Career with a Conscience, this is where they'll go, and there'll be an introduction. So then they go on to the next unit, and the next unit, number 2, is what is network marketing all about? Well, this is the channel of distribution. This tells a little bit about how the business works, and so there's an overview here. That's a 6-minute overview on why have a business. And this one includes an overview of the cash flow quadrants, which if you're familiar with Robert Kiyosaki's cash flow quadrants, that has a little bit of an overview on why people might want to look and consider doing that. Next comes, this is a reading part, why consider having a plan B? And what would it look like for you? The difference between many people who are in a self-employed business. So this is the blog on that. This then, another 2.5 minutes on the power of network marketing. This refers to Robert Kiyosaki's book, which is called The Business of the 21st Century, which says that now you understand the cash flow quadrants, an answer to this can be network marketing, which is the business of the 21st century. So these are all just some brief segments. And one of the pages on this includes the power of personal referrals. And that's what this chart is, which you may have seen already. But this says, to what extent do you trust the following forms of advertising? And if you go down here and you say text ads on mobile phones, well, that's at the bottom of the list. People trust that 29%. Online banner ads, ads on the radio, ads in magazines, ads on TV are less than 50% that people trust them. And then you start going up to different other types, but 92% of trusting comes from recommendations from people I know. And this is why your personal invitation is so important. This is why recommendations from people you know, this is what network marketing is all about. And so that's an explanation of why word of mouth is such a powerful concept. This now, Joanne, you want to mention this? Because I know you went back and reviewed this one.
Yeah, I think what's most important for everyone to know is that we need to go through this ourselves because we need to relate to the prospect or the person that we're talking to. So when you go through everything, you might see, well, this would really relate to Isabel, or this might really relate to Joan. And I think that's the most important thing that these sites can give you. They are a resource all in one place that allows you to pick and choose what you feel is most significant for the people that you're relating to. So the rise of the entrepreneur, I think the most important thing is it shares and shows the value of being an entrepreneur and what we have to offer in a very concise and simple explanation. So it's not an overkill. It's, I'm ADD. Don't overkill me on anything. I guess what I could say is show me the money or show me the things that are most important to me in a very simple, quick manner, and then I'll go forward with it. I'm not the detail person. Don't give me all the ramifications. Now, what's good about this site, though, is that's also in there. So it can deal with people like myself who need it, give me the information so that it can grasp me quickly but then I'll research when I want more in-depth information. So it has all that ability within this particular site.
Some of you may remember having seen The Rise of the Entrepreneur. It's a very powerful video. And then the last part of this particular segment is where to get some of the resources that are mentioned. So Charlene mentions the career of the cash flow quadrants and the business of the 21st century. There's reference to the 4-year career book. And so this is just resources about where you can go get these things. So that's unit number 2, which specifically focuses on the profession of network marketing. Are there questions? Is this okay? Should we go ahead? I'll take that as a yes. Okay.
You know, let me, I know people don't speak up really quickly on this, so let's see if there are any questions from anybody.
Anybody with a question can just hold down their space bar to ask it.
Carolyn, it's Gary. Where did
Hey,
you
Gary.
send- Hi. Where'd you send the invitation?
I sent it, I believe, to, well, let me try it again from tag it right here. So the way I would do it is I would go here, take a look at Shackley. I would go take a look on this comment, and I would make a comment, and I would go at, and Gary Mendelson fills in right here with the Mendelson Group. Is that it? The Mendelson Group LLC?
So you have to go into Facebook to do it. Does it go into their email or does it go in through Facebook?
Most likely it'll go into Facebook, and here's what you will become a friend of yours, is opening up Facebook and see up here, look where this bell is up here. This is your notifications.
And I've
So
got to
take-
They
find
have
out
to have
who-
notifications turned on.
Pardon me?
They may not have notifications turned on as
Okay.
something they want to receive. They may
They
have
may
turned
have
that off.
missed that at first. See at the very front page where it says notifications?
Oh, they also have just notifications in general for their account. Some
Okay,
people don't like being bugged.
and where would that be?
That would be in your account set up somewhere. I just don't know off the top of
Yeah,
my head.
that's something that is a process. And Gary, are you doing this on your phone? Okay, I do get my notifications on my phone. Did you get it? Yeah, so I think based upon you deciding, now look at what Shackley just did. We just did a new Shackley Connect. Everything seems to be just right on your phone. Facebook is not something that I go to all the time, and I know Carolyn doesn't, I know Pam doesn't, I know that, it's not where we do. However, it's a tool and a resource for the private group that we've developed is private. It's not where we're in this whole umbrella and outlay of Facebook. So what you have to understand, and for Jamie or anybody else, it's a nucleus of our community, and we're keeping our community as safe as possible within Facebook, within the units that can teach and educate our people. We have to educate ourselves first in getting to the understanding of how we work through utilizing these specific pages. And we don't, you can't eat the whole elephant at once, but we can do it a little bit at a time.
That's what I was trying, to eat the elephant. So I'll slow it down, I promise.
Sorry, Gary, that won't, even though you're a fifth degree black belt, you're gonna have to take it a little bit.
I'll take it slower.
Yeah.
Well, this is new territory for us all. These are new muscles. And So this little area, for example, if you get familiar with this little bell and the notifications, you'll see that I get noticed. So Richard Brook is live. This is a video that I just put in. You can remove these. This is one I just put in. You can remove these. This is Dr. Browse. Pam added a new photo somewhere. There's something from, there's something in Sharing Shackley. So these are sites where I put a notification in, but I don't have to go to these sites. You don't have to go to them. It simply lets you know what's going on. But this is where your notification may come in. And this, if you become more active in this, this may be where someone that you've invited somewhere goes in and does something, and you'll go, oh, I just got a notification that they said they like that idea. So you see what this little bell is all about.
Hey, Carolyn.
Yeah.
Hold my space bar down. That'd be good. How did you delete that notification?
Just go right in here.
Yeah.
So here's a Zoom from Dr. Browse 2 hours ago, vegetarian versus meat. You go right over here to these 3 little hamburger dots.
Okay.
Click on it and it says remove.
So why do I not see 3 hamburger dots on each one?
You probably would. Just look real carefully. If you're doing it on your phone, sometimes it's tougher, but if you're on your laptop, it's probably there. You just have to go over and hover to it and find it.
Well, ultimately, they disappear on their own.
Oh, okay. So now you're hovering over a picture of my
Right.
garden I put in.
Right.
earlier.
Yeah, so you just have to hover over
You
it and
hover
find
it, and then the dots appear.
Right, right.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, this is Mary Beth. I still didn't get the invitation, so I don't know what happened. And I did check my email as well.
Okay, well, let's put that one on hold, Mary Beth, and maybe Joanne can help with that a little later because we did put you in.
Yeah,
I-
I haven't gotten it either. Sue Holden.
Okay, well, we did it, and this will be good to just check and find out what it takes to make it work. But at least we.
No, Sue Holdren specifically, I know that you said I should do something different because you have a private Facebook and then,
No, it's just you vote. You guys have the right Facebook. Don't worry about that.
okay, all right.
Sue Holden, yeah. Sue
Yeah,
Tree of
and you
Dreams.
know what, Mary Beth, I could, for some reason, your question was garbled and I couldn't hear you. So if you want to text or email me, I will take.
Let me
a look
just
at
try again, Mary Beth, and try this one. See, you come up. And so if I click on this, you have now gotten a notification. I've now tagged
hit
you on the
enter,
site
though.
again. Pardon me?
It
Yeah,
looks
you have
like,
to, yeah, you have to hit
You
enter.
haven't sent it yet.
yeah. So now it's sent.
Okay.
So I think the concept of what Carolyn has done and why I've joined forces with her, let's bring it back to why this is all happening. I think the most important thing is us inviting existing and new people by ad tagging them to some information that, to me, this is easier to do than going to the Shackley site and finding a resource and then sending it to them. So this is why I felt it was good for me. Plus, I think, inviting them to be a friend of mine, what I might have posting, and I'm going to relate to Jamie because she's on the call. She's got a beautiful family. She's got a growing need for her youngest daughter. Her stories are wonderful. She's involved in Shackley. So this would be, and she's involved in the Facebook community. This could be a natural ability for her to ad tag her other group of people in Facebook with some good information that she doesn't have to research anywhere else. And I don't know if Jamie's still on or not, but I think that it'll simplify. You on?
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. I think it'll simplify your life, Jamie, because once you look at the different sites and you have a Facebook community, you're going to be able to tag them into saying, you know, this is a good information for you. I think you might benefit from it, and you don't have to go anywhere else. You know, you can build your community within the community that you've already got without overselling, producing anything. So it's ideal for her because she has a Facebook community and is working on it. I have many groups that I work with on Facebook from my many interests. It will work for me once I can then identify the people that I am friends with on Facebook where they might have a need, and then I can tag them based upon either partnership with nature or a career with a conscience. And I would say, well, I think this would really relate to that person, and I'll tag them. This, of course, is excellent. I mean, if you go through it, when you go through it, you're going to see so many great pieces of material that are just so resourceable for you.
And I think this is why it's really important that you go through it yourself. Because if you don't, you have no idea what you're going to want to be tagging people on.
Exactly.
So Terry, I'm going to try to see if I don't see you in this Facebook community, but Terry, if you want to get back to me and let me know. I don't know what your Facebook name is, but you can get back to me. Terry Solito, you can let me know if you're missing out on this. Okay, let's go back. Let's go back because we were still talking, we were in unit 3, and see how you go up to the top left into units. This will take me back to the sort of directory. And so we've gone through what's it about. We've gone through what's network marketing about. Now we're going to go through unit 3, which is take a look at Shaklee. So let's take a look at what there is here. So there's a 2-minute overview in here. It just tells you a little bit about what you can look forward to. There is the article that is written by Richard Brooke with a picture with John Maxwell that talks about Shaklee. I can't pull these up on my system for you because you're just going to get, I'd have to come in anonymously in order to pull this up. So I can't show you that. But anyway, it's a very good article. It's a PDF that you can see. Then is the interview with Roger Barnett. And this one, I don't have a time on. This one is about 14 minutes. And so I try to put the time in here about how much it is so that you have an idea of 14 minutes and 25 seconds or so. So people know what they're looking for. But it's a very good interview with Roger Barnett by Heather Chastain, because this particular unit is about why Shaklee. There's an article that's from Forbes magazine that talks about Roger Barnett, which is one that you can print out anytime it shows it's a PDF. I'm going to switch those to JPEG so that you'll see the cover, but right now we haven't done that. So those are things that you can print. And then here is a simple overview of partnership with nature. This is taking a look at the philosophy, the culture, the proof, and this gives you some links in here so that you don't have to go jumping all around through the company. But if you go into this, you'll see there's a Dr. Shaklee clip. There's a little bit about the first multivitamin. There's Roger's thing on the product distribution center, and another one about quality and the details from the research center. So these are all just in one place so that you don't need to go back and forth and try to figure out where to go. Once you're familiar with these, oops, I'm afraid if I close this tab, I'm going to lose it. Here, I think this will do it. So that's available. This is all in the Why Shaklee. Here's the power of science. This one has got links on the science part. This one again, you can go through the Shackley difference. It's got links on behind the landmark study, a little more about the Shackley difference, the Prove It Challenge, the expert panel. So this has got a whole lot of the science segments in very short areas, but it means you don't have to go get lost in the company's website, that they're all right here when you're familiar with where to look for them. Then, and see, all you have to do is, let me see, we haven't tried doing Lauren B. I'm not sure whether I have Lauren B in here. Looks like I don't have you in immediately, but so Joanne can do that.
You know what's interesting, Carolyn? Can't you go up to the top and then invite or add Lauren? So
Yeah, I think
show
I
them
can.
how-
Now, I may have to
show
be
them
a,
how that you
we may
can
have to
add
be a
someone to
friend.
this.
We may have to be a friend, but let's see.
Well,
yes,
she's got to be a friend because didn't you?
I think we aren't friends, Carolyn, but you do have to be a friend in order
Yeah.
to invite someone. You can use this
Right.
here. I just did a quick Google search and it says that if they are not invited into the group, they're not going to receive a notification. So anyone that you've tagged that has that circle with the line through it, you need to add them here in the invite members area first and then tag them.
okay, that's good, that's helpful.
So
And
try that with me.
but they first have to be friends. They have to be in
friends
Facebook.
with you, yes.
Yes.
They have to be
yes.
in Facebook. They have to be friends with you. And then, but I think if you erase my name, it may even say that you can send them an email here.
I think you can. Yes.
You can add an email address. So anyone that's not on Facebook, you can send them an email there and they'll get a notification to go sign up for Facebook and go directly here to this group.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
I believe there's a little confusion on notifications. If they check that they want notifications for this group, they will get notifications when new content is added to the group. It has nothing to do with @tag messaging them.
Okay. Well, that's the reason for the message then. So
Yeah.
you
So
add
you'll-
them to the group, you
message
tag them,
them.
and you send them a message and say, now you need to go here.
Yes, but if they join the group and they click the notification thing, they will get a notification every time new content is added to the group.
Okay.
Totally different from @tag message.
Okay. That's helpful. So the
Okay,
key,
so this is important.
yes.
Let's just recap these steps because this is how the whole thing is going to start percolating, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes.
number one
Yes.
is you must be friends in Facebook.
Yes.
Number one.
Yes.
Number two, you can invite them next as members either through typing in their name, which will fill in if you're friends, or their email address, correct?
Mhm.
Then you can add tag message. Number three. Is that correct?
You can @tag message them if they're a friend of yours. If they're a member of the
That's right.
group, that's totally separate.
Yeah, you've added one step too many, Pam.
Okay.
They have to be a friend of yours to, and Lauren B, correct me if I'm wrong. They have to be a friend of yours to tag them into the topic that you want them to take a look at.
Okay.
It's a
But
simple
that still
process.
isn't, but that still has not worked yet for me.
Right.
Well,
Carolyn needs to add you right here under invite members. So Carolyn, if you type in Sue Holdren, since you all are friends, it should
okay, so
add her, and then you should get notifications if she tags you in something else. So I would, if I'm understanding add tag message correctly, you add them into the group. You would do that by going here into invite members. Then you tag them on the post you want them to see. And then you message them to close the circle and say, we need you to go watch this video. Correct? Okay.
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Thumbs up.
And remember that we didn't play this, But if you go in here, the place that we started by tagging you, Unit 4, nuts and bolts, very first one. There's a 6-minute and 25-second video on there that hopefully will give a little bit of a refresher. But it does take a little doing. This is like new language. And it's good. It's even new for Lauren. So see, it's not just the Goldies. It's, it's new for everybody. So thank you. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
well, not quite yet, but I will say this about that. It's a matter of practice, it's a matter of my going in. I'm very tactile related. So all I have to do is once, and then I'll understand. So what I will do is go in and actually, Lauren, you and I can play with it. So once I get the tactile understanding of it, then it should be very easy.
We can even do a quick video, if that will be helpful to show
Yes.
you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or have that available to everyone.
Yep.
Yep,
I would say
that's
yes.
good.
Yes.
I told you
good.
she's my miracle maker.
And Carolyn,
Yes.
Carolyn, I do now have the invitation and the access. So
Yay.
Lauren was correct. You can
Yay.
invite from the site,
Okay. Invite
then
from the
send the
site.
tag.
Okay. And then send a message to say, hey, Sue, look and find out. And then you'll know exactly now. If you follow that notification, does it send you right back to the place that I tagged you?
I'm looking. Now, this has taken me to Barefoot Possibilities.
Okay,
Because maybe the tag that she sent you to was, it brought you to the links that was from there.
Here, let me try another one, Sue.
Well,
So
let's ask Jennifer Cancio.
I was just going to bump in. So I see under my notifications, because I'm on the Zoom on my laptop and I have my iPad next to me. So under notifications, I have when Carolyn first ad tagged me with the @sign. It says Carolyn Whiteman mentioned you in a comment in Career with the Conscious. So when I went there, it took me exactly to that unit. And then when I see that you've commented, meaning you've tagged other people, it didn't take me there that time. But as soon as someone's mentioned directly, it went right to the comments of that unit, of that segment.
That's the simplest connection right there.
Actually, I'm wondering, the notification I've got says Carolyn Whiteman invited you to join the private group. And now that I've clicked on that again, I don't know why it went the first time, but clicked on that again, it has taken me to Career with Conscience. So possibly the invitation from the site was all that was needed, potentially.
that's very possible. Okay.
Yeah,
So
and the rules are in Facebook that you can no longer, you used to be able to just put people in groups, and people they objected to that because people were putting them in groups all over the place that they didn't necessarily want to be in. So now you can only invite a person to a group, and then they have to accept the invitation, and there we are. And as a matter of fact, that's the only way that they can get into a private group. This one is open, not private. So we could have had you go here and join yourself. But in this case, you got an invitation first, and then you had to accept the invitation, and then you're part of the group, and then you can do the ad and the tag and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, I think we're getting, we can open up for more conversation, Carolyn, and show everybody's photo and.
why don't I just give you one, because there's one more unit, just so you know what's here. And then we
Okay.
don't have to go through this. But this, so remember, we've done unit 1, 2, 3. Here's unit 4, which is called Nuts and Bolts. And in here includes the tax benefits. It includes a full business overview from Sean Gray. It includes this powerful message on the rule of 200, which is like, everybody gets to understand. Bottom line is, a director who's earning $1,000 a month has the equivalent of an income producing asset. It would be like owning a $200,000 home, because that pays you
Say
$1,000
that
a month.
again.
It's called the rule of 200. And the rule of 200 says that if you make $1,000 a month, the rule of 200 says you multiply that 1,000 by 200, and that is the value of the asset which you now have, which will continue to produce $1,000 a month. And so that's the equivalent of saying, hey, I'm going to take 3 months to become a director at $1,000 a month. That means I've got a $200,000 house that I own free and clear that now is going to pay, because I'm renting it out. I mean, it's going to pay me $1,000 a month in rental.
Love it. That one I would tag.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I think it's based on 5%, but the concept is there. The concept is there, and that's what's important about the value of the asset that you're developing in the business. You see why this is in the business side? This is in the business prospecting side.
And that's just basically at the director level. That's not
That's
even
exactly.
developing an organization.
That's exactly right. Yep. Yep. So these are pretty powerful concepts. So tax benefits, business overview, and then the last, the next segment is called real people and real stories. And this we don't have as much filled in on, but we've got some little quick stories that are ones that we've already gotten. And this is where we will look to have other people record their stories, and so that you can tag someone. You're a business professional. In this case, Justin is doing the recording based on being a creative person, because he's a writer. He's a very committed writer, author. But his segment is, how do you support yourself with your passion, your artistic career, which could be dance or music or art or theater or whatever, which are generally not careers that will pay you enough to really support you, especially in your early times. So he says, this is the reason why you start a Shaklee business. So you've got something to support you while you're pursuing your artistic passion. He says, plus, if you're busy, you take your shake and you can drink it down in, 2 minutes, instead of suffering through not having any food. So anyway, these are just some of the segments here on with some real stories. And we don't have very many of these in here yet, but there are a few of them, and these are the ones that we'll look forward to having more from any of you. And so, and there are a couple of resources that I've thrown in here, the $20,000 sheet, some other pieces, but primarily the thing that you want to have is those first 4 units plus the 5th one with the real stories. But these are all things that you can tag someone on, and it's our responsibility now to find out, to go through this, and I would strongly suggest you make notes. I use Evernote for me, and I will put a whole Evernote segment in, and I'll say, okay, this is Career with a Conscience. This is Unit 1, and I will make notes to myself, because I don't remember where these things are. And if you don't remember, it's hard to tag someone. But if you do remember, or you've got some notes, you can go, oh yeah, that's in Unit 3. I can go here and I can tag somebody. So the more familiar we become with the material, the easier it is for us to work with it.
I think more importantly too, or as important as what you've said, is when you go through these, to me, what happens for me, and maybe it might happen for you, my mind gets triggered on the people it might benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So then I'm getting more of a thought process on, opening up how I can share it, rather than my just looking at it and saying, well, the power of 200. Well, how many people do I know that would really benefit from this concept, that I really can add tag? That's what I think we need to start thinking about. How can we review something, get the thought process, and when you see something that you like and the people you know that you think about, write that down. Write the names of the people down that it triggers, because I think that's will be the most important element of what we do here. Not just reading it, not just learning it, not just being a student, but whose name is triggered in my brain that I would like to share this with. Then that's when the ball really starts moving. So I want to thank you, Carolyn. Powerful.
Thanks to all of you. And please, ongoing request as you go through these, if you see things to edit or adjust or anything, please just send a note because it's work in progress. But this is, of the 4 that we've done, the PWN Partners is the member orientation. That one, thanks to Sue Holdren and the questionnaire and people's editing, that one is pretty much as we are going to do with that right now. We're moving down to this one, and this has got a lot of the content in it. There's still some trimming up that we can do, but this one I think is usable now. And then if you want to go to Partnership with Nature, that's the product prospecting one, and that's available to use right now also. And I just put something else in there where I was going to put, oh, I know, Joanna, that YouTube on the guys talking about the cleanse.
Wasn't that great?
I'm going to put that in the Partnership with Nature because that's a product prospecting
That
under
was
the cleanse.
great. I
Yeah.
loved it.
Yeah, we're going to put
I'll
that in
talk
there.
more about that, but that was a great YouTube.
Yeah, yeah. So once you go in there and listen to it, then you remember you can tag somebody. So
All
we're going
right,
to put
so
that in there.
we're going to end the call. Carolyn, I know that we've got a lot. Let me say this about the wonderful work Carolyn has done. I've heard this numerous times. We've worked with her. It takes a little while to get the whole quadrant of what's happening. We have our product building side, we have our business building side. There's 2 sites for each. One is prospecting for product and business, and one is training for product and business. And they have their specific names, and it's all done through Facebook. That's the simple process. Lauren B. will help me if we're going to do some tutorials. If you have some questions, you can email me. I think some tutorials will be helpful. But it's a resource. It's a simple resource, and it allows us to process out. So I'm going to use Sue Persnicki as an example because she's been bringing new people in and wanting them. So she has now a site that she can lead people to by ad tagging them to specific topics that she thinks is important. So let me finish with the calendar. So July 23rd will be the MC Mentors with Dr. Kay Sau, and that is creating organization, master thinking, and kind of absorbing it and knowing what a powerful view that can be for you to include in your business. Then we have on July 30th, we'll have Hannah and Ellen Sherapin. I hope you keep your calendar that's sent out by Lauren B. as well. And then we're very excited. We're going to be having sports nutrition for Lunch and Learn on July 22nd. David Swain is going to be the keynote leader on that, and Carolyn and I will be helping him and working with it. And that's casual exercise, intermediate, and devoted. So we'll be working on that. And so that's pretty much the rest of the month. And thanks everybody for being on the call this evening. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.